When we think of assassins, their mission is usually simple: eliminate the target swiftly and cleanly. However, history is full of extraordinary twists, and one of the most astonishing stories is that of Tạ Đình Đề, a man originally tasked with assassinating President Ho Chi Minh. Yet, fate took an unexpected turn, transforming him from a feared assassin into Ho Chi Minh's most trusted Iron Guardian. How did such a dramatic transformation occur? How did a man sent to kill a leader become one of his most loyal protectors? Join us today as we unravel this fascinating journey. To understand the remarkable story of Tạ Đình Đề, we must first dive into his background. Born in 1917 in Tam Hung, Ton Oai, Hanoi, he was originally named Lam Jian. In 1936, alongside his father and older brother, he traveled to Yunnan, China, to work for a railway company. It was here that he became involved with the Viet Minh's National Salvation Association, a pivotal organization in Vietnam's revolutionary movement. But what set Tạ Đình Đề apart was not just his involvement in political circles, it was his extensive training as an elite assassin. Tạ Đình Đề was no ordinary recruit. He underwent rigorous training at various military and intelligence academies, including China's top espionage school. There, he mastered weaponry and explosives, covert operations, hand-to-hand combat, driving and piloting aircraft. Excelling in his training, he graduated from the prestigious Whampoa Military Academy before being assigned to intelligence missions. He later collaborated with American forces within the Allied faction against Imperial Japan, even receiving paratrooper training in India under U.S. supervision. By 1944, he was deployed to Hue and Saigon by both the American military and Chiang Kai-shek's forces, engaging in high-stakes intelligence activities. In the early 1950s, he operated across strategic border regions, blending seamlessly into local communities to gather intelligence. But how did this lethal operative, trained to eliminate high-profile targets, end up pledging unwavering loyalty to the very leader he was sent to kill? Stay tuned as we explore the next chapter of this mind-blowing transformation. Tạ Đình Đề name is known to many, yet few could have imagined the astonishing twist in his life. A man trained in Chiang Kai-shek's military academy, handpicked for a covert mission to assassinate Ho Chi Minh, would later pledge unwavering loyalty to the very leader he was sent to kill. This was not just a battle between an assassin and his target, it was a confrontation that would change everything. And what followed was an ending more unexpected than anyone could have predicted. Legend has it that on a peaceful day, after completing his morning tasks, Ho Chi Minh returned home for lunch earlier than usual. His attendants, already prepared, had set the table, ensuring that everything was ready for his meal. Just before sitting down, Ho Chi Minh made an unusual request. "Please bring me an extra bowl and an additional pair of chopsticks." This request puzzled his attendants. Normally, whenever Ho Chi Minh dined with guests, he would inform them in advance. One of his guards hesitated before asking, "Sir, are you expecting a guest today?" With a warm smile, Ho Chi Minh nodded and replied, "Yes, of course. Please bring the utensils." The guard, still unsure, cautiously inquired further, "Who is the guest? They haven't arrived yet, have they?" Ho Chi Minh chuckled. "Oh, he has been here for quite some time. You just didn't notice him." Confusion spread across the room. The guards exchanged glances, uncertain of whom he was referring to. They had been watching closely, no one had entered. Yet, Ho Chi Minh remained composed, showing no sign of concern. As the tension built, he suddenly turned his gaze toward the shadowed corner of the room, his voice steady but firm. "Mr. Tạ Đình Đề, please come and join me for lunch." The revelation stunned everyone. The very assassin sent to take Ho Chi Minh's life had been silently observing from the darkness, and yet, instead of confrontation, he was invited to the table. What happened next? How did this assassin become the Iron Guardian of Ho Chi Minh? Stay with us as we unveil the rest of this unbelievable transformation. The bodyguards were stunned. The name Tạ Đình Đề was completely unfamiliar, yet from Ho Chi Minh's gaze, they realized that this person was already inside the secured area. However, he was not inside the room, he was on the rooftop. A wave of tension spread through the air. If an intruder had made it this far, it meant a serious security breach. The bodyguards instinctively tightened their grip on their weapons, ready to act at a moment's notice. But Ho Chi Minh remained calm, gently saying, "This man is highly skilled. You won't be able to handle him." He turned his eyes toward the roof and called out in a voice both authoritative and welcoming. "I invite you to come down and join me for a meal." The invitation left everyone even more confused. A would-be assassin had infiltrated their defenses. By all logic, he should be subdued immediately. Yet Ho Chi Minh treated him as a guest. One guard instinctively drew his gun, another grabbed the phone, ready to raise the alarm. But Ho Chi Minh raised his hand calmly. "Put the phone down, all of you." Despite maintaining a high level of vigilance, the guards could do nothing but wait in tense silence, their eyes fixed on the roof. Suddenly, a dark figure shot down, swift as lightning. The intruder leaped from the rooftop to the courtyard, then slid across the hallway, landing directly in front of Ho Chi Minh. A heavy silence filled the room. Ho Chi Minh was the first to break it. Smiling, he spoke in a calm yet piercing tone. "Welcome, Tạ Đình Đề. You must have grown wiser over the years, though you seem a bit thinner." The man, dressed like a martial artist, slightly inclined his head in greeting. His voice was low but filled with confidence. "If I wanted to, even if you raised the alarm and mobilized all your guards, I could still escape from here." Ho Chi Minh chuckled, stepping forward without hesitation. He extended his hand, his gaze warm yet resolute. "Please, have a seat and share a meal with me." This time, Tạ Đình Đề did not refuse. He stood upright, clasped his hands in front of him, and spoke slowly but with deep emotion. "First of all, I must express my admiration for you. Standing before you, I feel an invisible force compelling me to abandon all hostility and instead, feel only respect." From an assassin, Tạ Đình Đề had become a changed man, marking the beginning of a story about compassion and transformation that history would never forget. From an enemy agent, Tạ Đình Đề had now made his decision. He knelt down, his voice firm yet solemn. "From this moment on, I renounce my mission for the enemy and place myself at your service." Ho Chi Minh placed a hand on his shoulder, a gesture filled with understanding and warmth. "I understand. I trust you. And I accept you." Right after that, Tạ Đình Đề reached into his clothing and withdrew a silenced pistol, carefully removing the bullets, each marked with a red tip. Alongside the weapon, he presented a pair of binoculars, a map, and forged identity papers intended for infiltration. He handed them all over to the guards. Then, with calm deliberation, he took a tiny poison pill, his last resort in case of capture, and gently placed it on the dining table. Thus, the one who had come to assassinate Ho Chi Minh became one of his most loyal bodyguards. A remarkable transformation, one rarely seen in history. As a trusted protector, Tạ Đình Đề soon proved himself to be an exceptional bodyguard. One evening, during a performance at the National Theatre, he stood watch near Ho Chi Minh. As the curtains slowly lifted, a stunning female singer stepped forward, bowed elegantly to the audience. But as she lowered her head, her eyes locked intently onto Ho Chi Minh's seat. A subtle yet chilling detail, and it did not escape Tạ Đình Đề sharp gaze. Instinct took over. His hand flew to his pocket, gripping his pistol. Then, without hesitation, he leaped to his feet and fired. A single shot rang through the theater. The audience gasped in shock as the singer collapsed on stage. The performance came to an abrupt halt. When authorities examined the body, they made a shocking discovery. Hidden within her dress were a tiny pistol and a quartz bullet. She was no mere performer, she was a trained assassin sent to eliminate Ho Chi Minh. Had it not been for Ta Đình De's extraordinary vigilance, history might have taken a different turn that night. Once, during a trip abroad, a guest offered Ho Chi Minh a cigarette. Standing nearby, Ta Đình De immediately sensed danger. "Stop!" In a flash, he drew his pistol and fired. The bullet struck the cigarette mid-air. The host was stunned. But Ta Đình De knew exactly what he was doing. The cigarette had been laced with poison, and his quick action saved Ho Chi Minh's life. Ta Đình De's sharp instincts and fearless spirit made him legendary. Even poets wrote about him. Cheers to General Vong Nguyen Giap, victorious in Dien Bien. Cheers to Ta Đình De, once a spy, now one of us. He was a man of principle, never tolerating injustice. During the Resistance War, the road from Diem Dien to Na Sun was plagued by ruthless black market traders. Among them, one man stood out, a notorious gang leader, brutal and fearless. One day, at a roadside inn near Ca Bo, a small, unassuming man entered. He wore a green military jacket, typically reserved for officers. He took a quiet corner seat, ordered coffee, and lit a cigarette. At the next table sat a towering brute, his arms wrapped around a young woman. The scene was unsettling, the table was overflowing with luxuries, ill-gotten wealth from exploiting others. The small man observed without a word. But when the gang leader shoved the girl aside and threatened the innkeeper, his patience ran out. With a swift motion, the gang leader drew a golden pistol and aimed it at the stranger. But then, he froze. His eyes widened in shock. The small man had already unbuttoned his jacket. Beneath it, he held two Colt pistols, ready to fire. The outlaw's face turned pale. He lowered his gun, his hands trembling. Then, bowing deeply, he pleaded. "Forgive me, Dai Ca. I had no idea it was you." By then, the entire inn recognized him. This was no ordinary traveler. This was Ta Đình De. Calmly, he fastened his jacket and spoke. "While our people suffer and soldiers die in battle, you waste your days drinking and chasing women. I could execute you right now in the name of justice." The gang leader tried to retrieve his gun, but before he could move, Ta Đình De kicked it away, sending it flying into a nearby pond. Then, he shouted loudly, "Get out!" With a single powerful kick, the gang leader was thrown out the door, landing motionless in the street. From that day on, the infamous outlaw disappeared. No one in Ca Bo or the Ton Hoa pine forests ever saw him again. Ta Đình De's fearless loyalty and unwavering sense of justice left a lasting legacy. What do you think about this steel-willed bodyguard of Ho Chi Minh? And if you love history, stay tuned for more legendary stories in our next video.